to another episode of What's Your Issue? My name's Troy McEady.
And I'm Darlene. Hello.
Darlene.
Darlene.
Come to the light, Darlene. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. Just, enjoying a Saturday with you, my king. How are you, baby doll?
I'm all right. I haven't really done anything today at all, except like prepare for this. I've just been like reading Whitney stuff all day, and like I'm not complaining.
Same.
And then later, I'm going to a Kid Cudi concert, so I'm gonna get very high and go see my little king, my little crop top king.
Oh my God, look at you. That sounds so fun.
No, I'm so excited. I hope that he makes eye contact with me.
That's a big dream, but I hope it happens for you, baby.
It's a big dream for such a tiny little girl like me.
But anything you can dream, you can be, baby.
Mama said, dream as big as your heart.
Well, I don't know. I have nothing else to report.
Me neither. And
should I just ask you the question?
You should.
Let's get straight to it, baby. Troy, I'm not going to mince words. What's your issue?
Dara, my issue is the May 2000 issue of Out magazine starring the Whitney Houston, daughter of Cissy, niece of... I was going to keep going, but I'm like, I could do the whole thing, but I won't.
Her whole lineage.
I'm like, mother sang backup for the Queen of Soul. Yeah, we're doing Whitney's... I mean, I guess you could say like her gay issue, what they used to say like her coming out issue, but then when you actually read it, it's like not that.
It's quite not. It's quite the opposite.
Yeah.
It's her first and last interview with a gay publication.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and I guess we should also say happy Pride to everyone. We're doing a gay theme all month long.
Yeah, we're gonna be doing some fun like queer interviews, articles, covers, and this is just about as gay as it gets, ironically, and also like the David LaChapelle of it all. It's like,
I know
this is a big one.
I know. Our interviewer writer's name for this article is Barry Walters, who literally just came out with a book like 2 weeks ago. It's called Mighty Real, A History of LGBTQ Music from 1969 to 2000. And he has a whole chapter about Whitney, and he specifically talks about this interview, and you get a really interesting peek behind the curtains, like that you would never know about just from reading the article.
Well, I have not read his book, and like Dara read the Whitney part of it for this for our recording, and I don't know anything about it, so I'm like really excited to find out like what the true tea was, because what a crazy thing to say that you had access to. Like, he's the one person that was ever able to get her to sit down and talk about this.
Yeah, it's really interesting, and just I of course knew about Robin and the lesbianism of Whitney.
Yes.
But it wasn't until reading this article and then reading the chapter where everything kind of like changed perspective for me, and how much of a queer text you could sort of read into so many of Whitney's songs and her music videos, and also a different perspective of like the tragedy of her life.
Right.
Which is just something I never thought about, because you think about it as like by face value is fame killed her, like a story we've heard many times. But really you have to look at it and go, and also a huge part of it was that she had to deny who she was for her whole life.
Yeah.
Once she became famous, really, if she hadn't been famous, I imagine she would have been an out lesbian.
I agree. And I think I do think that it is like the great tragedy is that she actually did have a great love of her life in Robin, and like it wasn't Bobby, and Bobby was just sort of like this idea of what she thought she was supposed to do was like, like a God-fearing woman, like you get married, you have a baby,
Yeah.
but then it's like she has this other relationship that like everybody is like so her first of all, her only protector. Like Robin was really the only person who was like looking out for her, trying to keep her
Yeah.
sober. The only person that really had her best interests, and they all hated her because she was gay. Like her brothers hated her mom hated her, Bobby hated her, and that was her great love. And I think Bobby knew that. I think Bobby Brown knew that Robin was like her true great love, and it made him
Yeah.
more violent,
Crazy.
more crazy, more abusive.
Yeah, and it's also just so sad thinking about it that she had this other love. She had this whole identity that she couldn't live out. And then it's not just, oh, she got into drugs herself. It's then the man that she in her had to be with because that is what she was supposed to do. It's him who got her killed in the long
Yeah.
run.
Yeah. I know. It's
Which
like
is why heterosexuality is terminal.
it's a disease, I tell you. It's true though. It's really sick. It's really like sick shit. And even in death, it's like that family can't like say a nice thing about Robin. Um, and I guess we should also mention too. So this whole interview revolves around Whitney releasing a remixes album,
Mhm.
which I don't know who it was. I want to say it was maybe Pitchfork or somebody had just wrote an article about the like newfound importance of the remix album and how you have people like Charlie and Zara like releasing remix albums and they're charting as high as their main release. But it was really different back then. It was like nobody really did remix albums. If they did, they weren't really taken seriously.
Yeah.
Um, I want to say Michael Jackson's remix album was the first one to really like chart, but they were like songs that you would expect not many people would hear. Um, so they're kind of making fun of her throughout the article for releasing a remix album, like as if it's
Yeah.
like some desperate attempt for her to like be relevant. And at this point, like she had sort of like been painted into this corner of doing these like soundtrack albums, like release a big movie, do The Preacher's Wife, do the album, do The Bodyguard, do the album, do Waiting to Exhale, do the album. And this was her way of like getting out of it. But she's also releasing an album for the gays. Like they're not trying to hide that this is like not really for anybody but gay people, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, and it discusses it in the article. The year prior to this, she performed at a party at New York City Pride. And in the book, the interviewer talks about how Robin said to her, or Whitney turned to Robin after she performed at that event and said, like, that was so much fun. And Robin talked about how like that she hadn't heard Whitney say that she had had fun in years and years and years.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so
So
sad.
I know. I
Like she was
know.
never able to really engage her gay audience in the way that I'm sure she wanted to,
Yeah.
and like the press made it so complicated and her family made it so complicated. Um, but this interview also was her first time like talking really about her connection to gay people and like
Yeah.
growing up around queer people. And it's like Cissy Houston was so homophobic and like didn't want her daughter being gay, but at the same time she's like one of those women that grew up like surrounded by drag queens. And Whitney talks about how her mom would perform for drag queens, and they would like queer people would like line up outside all day waiting for her to sing. And that her mom was like not judgmental towards queer people except her. It's like
Yeah.
everybody but my daughter can be gay kind of thing.
Yeah. I wonder how she felt about the difference though between gay men
Hmm.
and gay women. Like
Yeah.
I'd love to know what her overall opinion. Like I'm sure she wasn't hanging out with many lesbians.
Yeah,
Let's
I
be
agree.
real.
I
you
agree.
know?
And I don't think she liked the whole like mask presenting thing. I think that she was like really put off by that.
Yeah.
Um and like just from what I've read from doing my old Whitney stuff, like I just feel like they had something ironically that you and I have talked about before, like the like old school perception of queer people, especially women, that they're like deceitful, lying
Yeah.
snakes, can't be
Hmm.
trusted, snake in the grass. And that's how they all viewed Robin, that she was this like, can't leave her alone with Whitney. She's up to something. And it's like, no, you guys are all up to something. Like this
Yeah.
woman is trying to protect her from you.
Ah, it's so sad. Well, I guess we should dive into, so basically the context is she has this remix album, and then basically the writers kind of trying to see how far he can get with what she will offer about these rumors that she's with Robin.
And it's Whitney, so she's really intense. She's very animated. She's a little scary. I like that
Yes.
like towards the end he's like, I like her. He's like, she's fucking crazy, but she's really cool. Like he's like terrified the whole time and she's like snapping at him and like giving him shit, but like she's so authentic, you know?
Well, he said in the chapter that he wasn't sure if she was high or not, but his instinct was that she's someone who does drugs but always seems high, and he said
Yeah.
that's what a lot of my friends are like, so I really liked her.
That's so true. Her natural energy is like, it's like she's high for sure.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to read. I think that this is like, of all the celebrity profiles I've ever read, the opening of this one is like one of the craziest things ever. Like,
Yeah.
I
Oh,
can't
yeah.
believe that this is real. So it opens with quote, I ain't hoeing, says Whitney Houston, the world's number one pop R&B goddess potty mouth. I ain't sucking no dick. I ain't getting on my knees. Something must be wrong. I can't really just sing. I can't just be really talented, a gifted person. She got to be gay. Houston's way of addressing the questions, the ones that have been hovering over her all these years, despite her marriage to Bobby Brown, despite motherhood, despite her multi-platinum All-American church-going Kevin Costner co-starring, crossed over to and from every which away image, says so much more about her than her answer, an answer we're not going to give away right now. Yeah, this is Girlfriend's first GAY interview, something queer guys and gals from Kentucky to Kalamazoo have been craving since we first found Cissy Houston's daughter, the cousin of Dionne Warwick, calling to us across the airwaves in the 1980s, singing about saving all her love for somebody. There's so much more to Houston's connection to gay culture than her much speculated upon sexual orientation. And with the release of her double disc greatest hits comes an occasion to reappraise the omnipresent sister we've watched break records and survive trends since she became a near instant superstar at 21. From How Will I Know to Love Will Save the Day. That girl's gone, says a 36-year-old. 36.
All right, Troy, I was
36.
hoping you'd stop there.
36. Like, I'm like, whoa, no.
No. I've been doing this work. It includes a lot of reading someone's age and going,
Yeah.
oh, fuck.
Yeah, it's like, Jesus Christ, she was already Whitney v. Houston by the time she was 36. And I'm sitting here in a dirty ketchup stained t-shirt. God. Says the 36-year-old singer as she sits in the lounge of the Beverly Hills Le Meridian Hotel, surveying the collection's proposed list of tracks. So this is like very strategic. It's after years and years and years and years and years of everybody talking about her being secretly gay and her being coy about it or whatever. This is like, all right, we're going to do this now. Like the team has decided it's time, you know?
We gotta do it. What do you think that was? Do you think it's just because they knew that this album was appealing to gay people, so they're just like, give them a bone, throw them a bone, or do you think there was anything else at play as to why it was like now is the time?
I think that Cher's Believe had a big what's the word I'm looking for? Had a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
I think that Cher releasing Believe really kind of affected everybody's career. It reminds me a little bit of like when Lady Gaga premiered and everybody was like, I need to be weirder, like
Yeah.
I better shave the side of my head, like Believe made everybody feel like they had to do something in an attempt to like get on the dance floor. And I feel like
Yeah.
it was like really glaring that Cher was able to do that, and like Whitney had this gay following but had never done anything for them really.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. I will say I do love the opening of the article that is where she knows she's going to be asked about her sexuality, and she
Yeah.
knows that she's going to emphatically say I am straight, but it opens with I don't suck dick. It's like, well, honey, I don't know if I'd open with that.
Well, it's also just so like there's another part, the way that she's casually sort of talked about in this, like it's specific to this time period, and it's specific to like her and Mariah and Michael and like Prince, where these publications are like a little racist too.
Yeah.
Like the stuff that he says, relaxing after rehearsals and costume fittings, the pop star once knocked for being too white is decked out neck to toe in rapper wear, an oversized designer logo t-shirt, dark running pants, a dark smock-like jacket, but covering her head is a checkered cloth that she reaches around her neck and hides her tail. That's what old school queens would call a snood. She's also sporting a wedding ring with a diamond so huge it looks fake, as it is rolled out it was rolled out of a gumball machine. This unlikely combination of street and stage gives Houston a look that's somewhere between Compton and Sunset Boulevard, but it suits Houston's Pam Grier meets Gloria Swanson personality perfectly. Miss Thang is intense. Her expensive, emphatic gestures suggest both boys in the hood throwing gang signs and a preacher determined to save the souls of her flock. Her facial expressions flash and pierce with power of a woman who can charm and do battle. Remind her of a distasteful tabloid inquiry, and her eyes will zero in on yours as if you personally dreamed up the headline and put it on the printing press yourself. Bring her back to a happy memory, and she'll share her joy with the generous familiarity of a bosom buddy. She's sweet and not a little scary, reminiscent of the drag queens with monikers like Pepper LaBeija, who lit up the Vogue Ball documentary Paris is Burning. It's like the media has always had such a hard time grappling with the fact that Whitney is unapologetically black. It's like
Yeah.
it's the thing they like the least about her is that she is this unapologetic black woman who was presented to us as like a soft white, like soft black, just black enough for white people to be like not afraid of. So then when she
Yeah.
leans in too much, they're like, whoa, she's throwing up gang signs. She belongs in Compton. It's like, whoa.
Yeah, he was saying that early in her career, they tried to keep her away from interviews as much as possible because she was, if you knew her, unapologetically black, and
Yeah.
she couldn't do an interview and really like hide that. So they're like, we'll just keep you away for a little while.
Can you imagine, by the way, like imagine keeping Whitney Houston's personality like in a box? Her, that queen, like the whole thing is Whitney's aura, and you're trying to hide the aura.
Well, and that is why she was so tortured. Like every part of her was hidden.
Yes.
It's not just that she was gay. She had this exuberant, wild, big personality. And then you're trying to make her this diminutive girl next door type when it's just, she's absolutely not.
It's so crazy. And then for Clive Davis, like they talk in the article about how, like they kind of try to like allude to it being her idea, like as if she wasn't forced to hide herself and like, forced to hide who she was. And, there's the really famous clip of her being booed at the Soul Train Awards. And it's like, that was a huge deal for her. Like she's a black girl from Newark and she's being booed at an award show for her peers because of Clive Davis.
You know, it's one of those things where you usually hear it about child stars, but they always want to make it, oh, it was the stars' idea. As if this, in the grand scheme of things, most stars have such little power.
Right.
Compared to the team around them. I feel like, especially in music.
Absolutely. It's like when they say, like, you know, when they talk about child stars and they say, like, she just wouldn't stop. We had to go to the audition because otherwise she wouldn't stop tumbling and flipping. It's like, well, she was 4.
Like Raven Simone in Jet Magazine that we covered, where it's like, she had a little pow power wheels, and if we didn't drive her, she was going to be on the 405 all by herself. So what were we to do?
It's like, you're talking about a 3-year-old. Are you insane? Yeah. She kicked the door in, set her headshot down, and said, "This is my role." She's like, can't talk yet. It's like, what are you talking about?
Wow, it truly is just like, the more you read about it, it's like, I don't know, fame is a terrible, terrible thing, and
it's horrible.
No one should aspire towards it, and yet here we are.
And here we are. Rate, subscribe, and review. Well, I guess just I had mentioned this earlier, but the gay stuff. Because Whitney talks about, like, I think that Whitney knows that the public knows that her mother is homophobic.
Okay.
Yeah, because she's done interviews where she's made it very crystal fucking clear that she's not into all that gay shit. And she's not apologetic about it and, like, wants you to know, fuck them gays, right? So Whitney is, like, trying to let people know, like, no, my mom does have a soft side to her when it comes to the gays. They say Cissy's blistering performance on such Zager-produced dance floor anthems as Think It Over earned her a hardcore following of gay men, whom Whitney first encountered during her mom's club dates. My mother's best, most beautiful, brightest audience was gay men, she recalls. We used to work at Reno Sweeney, a trend-setting 70s Manhattan cabaret. My mother used to pack out that club. I mean, the queens would be around the corner in a line waiting to see Miss Cissy. The queens who were lining up to see Miss Cissy came from more than just her tremendous singing. I watched the way my mother would deal with gay people. Houston says they could tell her anything and she wouldn't trip. She'd be like adapting a Cissy worldly voice. If so-and-so and so-and-so don't treat you right, fuck them. Leave them and move on to the next thing. It was about relationships and loving each other. My mom was an inspiring singer. She sang from her heart about love, tragedies, the ups and downs, and the all-arounds of love. And she somehow made you feel like you could come out triumphant. No matter what, this had a strong hold for gay people. She'd come out of her slippers and sing, and they'd love that. Sing, Miss Cissy. She was real. And I think that you could probably say that about so many people, especially from that time period, like, where it's like, they're nice to gay people, but think they're going to burn in hell.
Absolutely. Yeah. And when you're with a gay man, especially when you are a woman who, you know, a diva performing, they're so nice and effusive. It's like, how can you not want that around you in the moment? But then behind closed doors, you're like, well, but they're going to hell.
Right. Don't be like them.
You know, it's like many right-wing people where, you know, they vote for Trump and they're like, well, I do want people deported, but not the people that I know.
Right. Right. Not my lawn guy. He's so sweet.
He does such a great job and he has a whole family.
Yeah. He does have to take care of his daughter, you know. He can stay. Yeah, it's very that.
Like, honey, it don't work like that.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting. It's very, very interesting, and it's very old school, and it's very black. Like, it's very black community, black family vibes. Like, you know, it's like I can't even count how many homes I was in as like a tween where the elephant in the room was that I was gay, you know, and then I would go to like my dad's friends' houses or like distant family members and stuff. and they'd be nice.
Sure.
But I knew what was going on, and I knew that they were making an exception for me, and that I would leave, and they'd talk about me like a dog.
Absolutely. The thing is when people think about homophobic people or racist people or whatever, I think a lot of people have a picture in their mind of someone who just can't be in the same room with
Mm-hmm.
whoever they hate. It's like, no, actually it's really hard for people to be outwardly mean to another human when they're in front of them.
Mm-hmm.
Whether that's because it's like human connection or if it's just because a lot of people don't like confrontation and feel
Right.
embarrassed by it.
Yeah.
But it's not as hard as people think for a racist or homophobic person to just be nice to your face for the time being and then
Yeah.
wait till you leave to say something.
I think that's actually like a really good point. And I think that
You
Cissy
know?
is like literally the face of that. Like she is like, because if you guys have never seen, I want to say it's Oprah that asks Cissy about Whitney being gay. And like, not only is she extremely cold in her response and very like, I don't fuck with that, but she like shuts it the fuck down. She's like,
Yeah.
that's the answer. And then we're going to move on. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, God, can you imagine how like vitriolic and toxic she was like to Whitney, like behind the scenes, like the stuff that Robin heard and saw and just
I
how
can
horrible they were to her.
I can only imagine. Well, and the writer, he talks about how there's a moment in the interview where Bobby comes over and he basically does a gay voice to mock him.
Yeah.
And he walks away. Like, I guess he gives the interviewer gives Whitney a look and Whitney swats him away. And then Whitney says, "Oh, he doesn't even care that you're gay." And in his book, he says, he absolutely did. And it
Yeah.
made me immediately think, if this is how he treats me, an interviewer with my tape recorder on, imagine how he treats Whitney in private about this stuff.
That part made me, I forgot how angry Bobby makes me. Like, I like forgot because I was so in it for a while. I mean, Dara actually came on Dunzo to do Being Bobby Brown episode with me,
Yeah.
and I was in the thick of it. I mean, I was like, I had been doing Whitney for like 2 months, and
Yeah.
I forgot how frustrating this man is. He's exhausting, and especially around this time, he had this way of always showing up when she's doing press. Diane Sawyer, any interview she's doing, he pops up and has to make his little. It's like he has to piss on her every
Yeah.
opportunity he gets. He had to come in and
Mm-hmm.
be disruptive and disrupt the interview and do voices and make sure he just has one little moment of, doing a little jig. Like he's so annoying.
That just made me think, because I was thinking like for a closeted woman to decide, okay, I have to marry a man, fine. But to then pick like the most toxic, loud, clearly homophobic type of man instead of choosing someone who maybe has more deference towards you or maybe even like knows what's up and is like, it's okay, honey, like do what you want to do on your own time and I'll keep your secret. But instead she chooses Bobby. And I wonder if on some, subconscious level, it's the internalized homophobia, almost wanting someone that's going to sort of punish you every day or
Mm,
remind you every day about like, this is wrong and you're wrong and like stay in line.
I think that there's a, maybe not when she got with him, but like definitely throughout their relationship, there was Bobby was her like self-deprecation.
Mm,
He made her feel like shit. He would make fun of her for having hair loss and wearing wigs. He would call her ugly, skinny, make fun of her body, tell her she was fat, tell her she was bloated, tell her she couldn't sing anymore. Like I think that that was like her self-inflicting. Like It's like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to hurt myself, but I do have this guy here that will do it for me. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I also think that I think Bobby was also what she knew from men. Like that was her brothers,
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
And like when she met him, he like folded into like that crew really easily, like with her and her brothers, and they would all do drugs together and stuff. Ironically, Bobby never really got super into drugs. He was a drinker because he couldn't handle his drugs. Like Whitney could out cocaine him
And
till the
that's my
fucking
girl.
yeah, till the fucking cows came home, and Bobby just couldn't hang. So that's why he was an alcoholic and that she was a drug addict. Um,
Wow.
but yeah, and I also think, I think that there are an endless amount of parallels between Whitney and Britney's careers and life. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that she chose Bobby for a lot of the same reasons Whitney chose K-Fed. It was like, I'm not this fucking squeaky clean ass bitch. And I
Yeah.
want you to know, like, I need you to know that I ride with men like this. Like, I do this shit. I'm about that life. I'm this girl too. Like, it
You
was
know,
like defiant.
it's so interesting and sad though that, and I guess it makes sense. These women who grew up in a particularly patriarchal sort of
Hmm.
family unit that was very serious about gender roles and everything,
Right.
that it took being with a man to give them the permission to act closer to who they are instead
Yeah.
of being able to do it on their own. Where you look at someone like Christina, who
Yep.
grew up in an environment that was abusive, but then having her mother take her out of it and sort of asserting herself,
Hmm.
that she was able to do it singularly as an individual.
God, that's such an interesting point. It's like the power of not forcing your daughter to be a good girl.
Yeah. Like truly, it's the most important thing we can do for our children.
It really is like that's what happens. Like, look, Christina was allowed to like just be Christina,
Mm-hmm.
and look at how she turned out, like in comparison. Like,
Yeah.
like Whitney was just so tortured by this image that she didn't even create for herself. And I also don't think she really even understood it. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, she's the first black pop star. So everything she's doing is like uncharted and nobody's done it. And, I've read interviews where Clive was like, I wanted my black Joni Mitchell. Whitney Houston grew up in the Baptist church in New Jersey. Like, I don't think she gave a fuck about Joni Mitchell. Not really. Like, I
No.
don't even think she understood the concept of this whole thing. She was like, why are we doing this? I sing soul music. Like, I don't want to sing I Want to Dance with Somebody, but I will and kill it. But like, fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you think about like they're trying to make her personality in the public squeaky clean, and
Hmm.
then also trying to make her do the music that she doesn't want to do.
Hmm.
And then she can't be with the person or people that she wants to be with. It's just so many things on top of each other of you can't be authentic at all. And I think unless you are a queer person, I think you don't know how much that can chip away at your psyche. Not that
Yeah.
every person who's been put into a box and couldn't be who they are queer, but just like queer people understand that how detrimental it can be for your mental health.
I can't even, I mean, my God. The thought of being closeted and famous and like wanting to be out but not being allowed to, and then everybody knows anyway, but you can't get it. You're the only person that can't talk about it freely. I mean, that's just like you said, that's just one little tiny microcosm of a thing that would make you go crazy on top of
Yeah.
like the millions of other things that you're dealing with.
And also on top of it, the fact that Whitney and Robin got together when Whitney's was like 17.
Yeah.
So this was someone early. I mean, and think about that for the time period. for someone to have that realization on some level, enough where she could act on it at such a young age, and then become famous and get forced essentially back into the closet on top of all of this
Oh my
other stuff
God.
that's happening to you with overnight fame, because like she
Yeah.
she was doing background singing, and then suddenly it was like she signs and she's 21 years old and she's like famous overnight.
God, the whoever decides to make the Whitney and Robin story where it's not about her career, it's not about being Whitney Houston, it's about Whitney and Robin's love story. It's like it is such a cinematic tale on its own, and like you
It
said, they met
is.
as kids. Like she was there through everything, and then you have her husband wanting her to fail. And she's in these two relationships and they're both aware of each other, and in one corner you have this guy who's like sabotaging the whole plan, throwing wrenches in it any way he can, trying to ruin her voice, like trying to
Yeah.
make it so she doesn't want to perform. And then you have her lesbian lover that she can't even talk about, who's like trying to protect her. It's so, I mean, it's the greatest love story never told, for real.
Well, so there's a very interesting part of this chapter about that. So why don't we go to the part where like they actually get into
Okay.
like, you gay?
They say, and this is like a little bit to what Dara was mentioning earlier about how they like tried to keep her hidden from the world, like so she wouldn't talk. During her early hit years, Houston did few interviews. Music industry insiders suggested that Davis limited the media's access to Houston because of the disparity between her white-friendly image and her proudly black manner. It wasn't long before the apparent vacuum of her personal life filled with a persistent rumor that the diva was a dyke. How did that get started? Hesitates the usually quick-witted star. I suppose it comes from knowing people who are. I don't care who you sleep with. I wait, sorry. She's so dramatic. I love how dramatic Whitney is. She said, I don't care who you sleep with. If I'm your friend, I'm your friend. I have friends who are in the community. And sure, that in my days of being out, hanging with my friends, having nothing but females around me, something's got to be wrong with that. Pushed closer to the question, and Houston's playful demeanor vanishes, replaced by the bitterness that's often defined her media profile. Listen, I took a lot of grief for shit that wasn't me, okay? Because I had friends. Because I was close to people, she says, eyes blazing and hands waving. But it ain't me. I know what I am. I'm a mother. I'm a woman. I'm a heterosexual, period. But I love everybody. If I was gay, I would be proud to tell you, because I ain't that kind of girl to say, nah, that ain't me. The thing that hurt me the most was that they tried to pin something on me that I was not. My mother raised me to never ever be ashamed of what I am, but I am not a lesbian. Darling, I am not, she laughs. Later, when the interview is over, she introduces me to her assistant, Robin Crawford, the woman said in the tabloids to be her girlfriend. The introduction suggests these longtime friends have nothing to hide. And it's all
So,
so strategic. Robin coming in, like I was like, what was she waiting in the wings? Like, what the hell?
but this is what is incredible about it. So he decides to say, I believe you. She has nothing to hide. But he talks about how in the interview, he knew that she was gay.
Wow.
And at a certain point, he decides, I'm not going to push her anymore and I'm going to protect her.
Wow.
And then he says that when he met Robin, he knew instantly that they were in love, and that the difference between the way she acted with Bobby
Oh my God.
and the difference between the way she was with Robin, he said that they just had this easy, calm, grounded chemistry. And he's like, these are two people who are together. There was no indication between her and Bobby that this was two people that loved each other.
this is making my stomach like hurt. Cause it's like all I think about when we talk about like Robin, it's like I just obsessively kind of fantasize about what her life would have turned out like, or what she would have, just the happiness, the joy, the health, like her being
Yeah.
healthy and having longevity, and on top of it, I would also like to point out that Robin is a creative. Robin is
Oh,
not
I didn't
just,
know that.
oh, Robin is, she's like, in the way that Madonna's brother used to help her like design her stage and her
Yeah.
costumes and like just kind of be like an artistic director. Robin was an artistic director for Whitney. Like she helped with costumes, lighting, like sound design. She was like a handyman, but for like stage productions. So it's not even like they're not just like hanging out and hooking up. Like she's a part of the image. So can you imagine a happy, healthy relationship where she's creatively? I mean, it's
It's so
devastating.
devastating. Well, and I don't, I also read that like the end of Whitney and Robin's relationship, the last straw was when Whitney fucked up some performance that she was supposed to have with George Michael. Like she fucked
Yes.
it up last minute. And that was the last straw for Robin. So it's like this was truly someone who had her best interests at heart and just got to a point where she could no longer enable the behavior. It's just the most devastating thing. And then he also talks about, and I never thought about this before, like reading into the new perspective of what I will always love you could really mean.
Oh my God. No, I can't do this. I'm gonna start fucking crying. Whoa there, darling. You're kind of getting a little too comfortable here.
I apologize. This is your issue. I will take a step back.
No, that is so. Wait a minute.
I know. I never. And he also mentioned something about the timing of when the song came out. It was like right around when she was meeting Bobby or something. So, and the sort of like real end of the relationship as far as lovers.
Oh my God, that is so sad.
Devastating.
It's really, really devastating. It's like watching a person choose the wrong door. She chose like the door that like sends you off the ledge instead of the door that sends you to like your sublime happiness. Like Robin literally, and then on top of it, like Robin was like telling her to tighten up because they were, increasingly taking her money and
Yeah.
I mean her brothers were such little fucking pieces of shit, crackhead ass fuckers. Like they would be putting drugs up their butts and shit on tour and to travel, and it was so ridiculous. And Robin was trying to get her to like tighten up, and they hated that. So they also, on top of the performance thing and Whitney being like not doing well, they were like doing guerrilla warfare tactics to sabotage her, and Cissy loved it. So can you imagine?
God, Sissy. That's a boy mom.
Oh my, if we've ever known one. My God, she has the boy mom thing hanging, like the suction cups on her car of everywhere, every car she's owned for sure.
God, it's just so sad to think of Robin, like especially when Whitney died. At this point, we haven't even seen the worst of Whitney.
Right.
What it must have been like for Robin to decide, okay, I have to move on. And then to see her deteriorate and no one coming in to help her. And then for her to ultimately die in this hotel that they are doing the interview in 12 years later.
Dora. And then she's talking about Clive, she's like, he's my father figure. He loves me. Because this was also like a big transitional period for Clive because he was leaving Arista to start his own separate music group. So it was a big deal. he had made Whitney a star. She made him all this money. She was like the crown jewel of his label. And she's like, he loves me and I love him. And it's so heartbreaking to know that in this very hotel, he will throw a party under her corpse and say she would have wanted him to. It's like so twisted.
And that is why you can never trust a person on the payroll.
It's so true. It's really true. And I feel like in Hollywood, it's like the more of a father figure role somebody has in your life, the worse they're going to fuck you in the end.
Parents are any sort of parental figure, I feel like, is especially bad. Like
Pretty
there's
much.
a different, whether it's a real parent or a parental figure, it's, I don't know, because creatives are usually getting into this business because they got a little hole in their heart to fill. And so a parental figure like can really easily weasel their way in there and have a certain level of control that someone else wouldn't.
Can I just say, as on a happier note?
Yes, please. After I tanked this with "I Will Always Love You."
Well, it is. I mean, it is. The whole thing is quite sad for it to be like she's finally doing an Out magazine cover. It's like really depressing and like not fun. But there is a really sweet moment in this. Like one of my favorite things about Whitney has always been just like the way she loves young, talented Black girls. Like,
yes.
And the way
oh my God, this part.
She loves she's not like that like threatened diva. Like Whitney is like, if you have talent, the more the merrier. I just want to be able to meet you and mentor you and talk to you and hang out and have girl time. Like she loves the girls.
And you know what? That's a lesbian.
Hello. Hi. She's like, it's like very clear. But yeah, if you watched Being Bobby Brown, there's like a whole episode where she shows up to Bobby's hotel and she was like, I had a day with the girls. I was with the girls all day. We had so much fun, me and the girls. I love the girls. And she's talking about Destiny's Child. She calls them the girls. And there's this little moment in the interview where they say, the four members of Destiny's Child, the female R&B harmony act of the moment, are ushered to Houston to say a brief hello, decked out in scene-stealing hookers from Mars outfits, complete with thigh-high stiletto heel boots. The quartet nevertheless cower before the diva, as if they're meeting the Pope. Houston jumps out of the chair. Say my name, say my name! She wails, quoting the chorus of Destiny's Child's latest hit. I listen to you. You'll be singing. You're the inspiration. The star is in full matriarchal mode, her arms waving in her smock like it's a preacher's robe. She's like, yeah, that's so funny. The newest members of Destiny's Child in particular are eating it up. One of them asks for a hug. I love that they're not even by name basis yet. Nobody knows who they are.
I know.
One of them asks for a hug. Houston magnanimously grants her request, even when it's revealed that the quartet is up for Best R&B Group Performance. Houston is up for the same award for Heartbreak Hotel with Faith Evans and Kelly Price. Both acts end up losing to TLC. So that's so sweet because she doesn't even know that they're going to be friends for like the rest of her life, basically.
Oh, I do love so much that they arrive in costume. It is the most snapshot. Like put that in the Whitney and Robin movie because we just need to see that scene played out.
And they're wearing fucking Tina Knowles couture. That's like some shit Tina patched together. It's so, what a beautiful moment to be captured. Like, oh my God. Say my name, say my name.
You can just hear it. Also, the writer talked about Whitney in her snood that she looked like Little Edie, actually. So I just love And it's like, yeah, that feels so Whitney.
Oh my God. That's hilarious. Like the thought of her standing up and conducting her arms. Oh my God. I am crying. That is so funny. Yeah, this is like, I forgot how like catty Out Magazine is. It's so funny.
Oh, it's good. It's good.
Oh my Lord, have mercy. I guess there is one like last thing she says about being gay or not being gay. Because they ask her about like, you know, why are you releasing this greatest hits album? Like, you know, he talks about how this is like maybe some way for Whitney to take ownership of her life. Like, is it strategic? And it says, listen, I always move on. Nothing can stop me from moving. She said, what didn't kill me made me stronger, sweetie. And she laughs. People still don't believe me. I did another interview today, and after an hour and a half of talking to him, the reporter said, I still don't know you. I think he was looking for something that he didn't find, trying to understand if I was a jeans and a t-shirt girl or a gowns girl. Is she R&B or is she pop? I am me. I am mother. Thank you. I love to hear my child call me mommy. That's what I am. Not lesbian, not gay, not all this bullshit. I don't want to hear that. It's over. It's done. Houston's typical defensiveness suggests, of course, that she's not really moved on at all. When I tell her that I believe she's straight, she retorts, it's not for you to believe me. I don't give a shit if you believe me or not. Unlike the previous reporter, though, I feel I've glimpsed the real Houston. And that's sorry. He's like so happy that she's being mean to him. I feel I've seen the real Houston. And what's more, I actually like her. Her feistiness reads as vindictive, but there's a playfulness about her that can put you at ease even when she isn't. And when she's sad, as she is when contemplating the future without Clive Davis at the helm of her label, she reveals true vulnerability. He treats me like his daughter, Houston says at one point, her eyes filling with tears. It's been like that for 15 years. I'm going to miss him. What?
It's also interesting that he's the father figure and she is effusive in speaking about him, and then also effusive in talking about her mother. I feel like when people have parents that are difficult, shall we say, especially maybe the boomer generation, I've always noticed that when someone has terrible parents, they're the most effusive about them, about how wonderful they are, as if they're trying to convince themselves. And it's just interesting for her to be in this interview that is quite vulnerable for her. And like talking about the parental figures like that.
That is so interesting. It's so like, I guess like it's for the best, but I'll just never understand the generation of like, you respect them no matter what.
Or what?
No matter how toxic and awful they are, you just respect them and be kind and polite. And it's like, no. Like, but I am obsessed with, and he's like, I think you're straight. And she's like, I don't give a fuck what you believe. It's not for you to believe me. I don't give a shit if you believe me or not.
Also, what I love about it, if you read the chapter, is it feels like he's both approaching it as a journalist, understanding that his subject is quick to change on a dime. And so he knows that if he pushes certain things too much, the interview will just be over. But you also get the sense that he's thinking, and I also want her to like me.
Yeah, totally.
So it feels like, I believe you. And you know, like, he literally does not believe her. But he's saying that just to be like, I believe you. Like, can we be friends?
No, 1000%. And I also think it's so telling, too, that she brought up, like, where she brought up the interviewer before trying to figure out if she's a jeans girl or a gowns girl. Basically, is she a little hood rat or is she the songbird that I thought she was, you know? Like,
Yeah.
Is she R&B or is she pop? And it's crazy how just like in every aspect of her life, like that follows her, and it's been following her like since she was a teenager, and she's still dealing with it like pretty much every day. And it's like, why can't she just be both? Like, what is the big
Right.
deal?
I think that was too complex of a thought for media. But
Yeah, I
it
think so
still
too.
is that
Yeah.
I mean, for the public in general, like, you see with so many different things, with reality shows, the way people react to it. It's like very few people can see things with any sort of nuance.
Yeah.
As you always say, like, two things can be true at once.
Yeah.
Like, most people can't wrap their mind around that.
It
So,
really is so true. People have a very flat perception of like everything. They just see one side of it and like that's it. Like people really do not have like a three-dimensional view on most things, especially people, like
oh,
other human beings, which should be the most easy to be like,
right.
yeah, she's feeling two different things at once. Like
Mhm,
it's
mhm.
like so crazy. God. And you can just tell that she's so I guess the thing that I like about reading interviews at this specific time, like especially like 2000 with Whitney Houston, is that
Yeah.
she's no longer suffering fools. She's
Mhm.
just, I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna say whatever I want. Fuck you, fuck you. If you don't like it, I don't care. You know, she's gone
Yeah.
from being this like very polite, buttoned up, like conservative girl, talk proper, be sweet, mention your mom. And like slowly it's chipped away. And it used to just be little moments in interviews where she would maybe get short, you know, or like if they ask her about
Yeah.
Mariah Carey, she's like, I don't think about her. Like she's, you know, but now in 2000, she's a full spitfire. She just does not care anymore because she's a mom and she's like, I don't care.
Yeah. Well, another part of the gay question that I found interesting that I wanted to talk about was how she says, and this is something that I feel like I hear all the time when speculating about people's sexuality, is she says basically, if I were gay, I'd be gay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And how that, I feel like that really appeases, especially liberal people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's outspoken.
Yeah. But, and that is her defense. And the way she sets it up, like, look, I'm talking to you. I have this background of performing in gay clubs or cabarets and for gay men and blah, blah, blah. So, and I'm so outspoken now. Like, if I were gay, I'd be gay.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, nope.
I well, I have a kind of a weird theory about this. I want to run by you
Please. Please.
because okay, so one of our months and months and months ago, maybe like last year, we did that interview she did with like Rosie,
Oh my God. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I totally forgot
right?
about that.
And Rosie was like mad at her because Whitney ditched the last interview and then she showed up to this one. And it was very clear in their banter that they run in the same circles, like they go to the same parties. They're both like at the KD Lang party or like the Ellen party or whatever, you know? And it's very clear that Rosie knows this other side of her and Whitney knows another side of her. And they're doing this sort of like respectful song and dance with each other, like talking around
Yeah.
this thing. And even though Whitney Houston definitely like partook in the gay lifestyle and like went to the parties and stuff and like had a girlfriend, I don't think she thought she was gay. I don't think she thought
Yeah.
that. I think she thought I'm a married woman that has this weird thing that I like to do with the gals, but I don't think she viewed herself as gay.
Troy, I think you're absolutely right because with the I'm a mother, all of that stuff that she says,
Mm-hmm.
the writer says that like it felt like she really believed that and what he wanted to say, but like at person to person was that you can be a mother and be gay. Like you can be a quote real woman and
Yeah.
be gay. Like all of these things that you think that you can't live out as a gay woman, like you
Yep.
can.
Yeah.
So I think you're totally right that to her it was, well, I'm married to a man, I have a child, you know, I have sex with my husband.
Mm-hmm.
That's straight.
Yeah.
This other stuff is just a silly little thing.
Yeah, it's a silly little thing that I'm doing. She's my bestie and we just so happen to hook up, and I'm a sexual person, but I'm not gay. Like, and I think that she felt like, you know, especially when she got pregnant and like, and she like, I just feel like she thought like, this is what I'm supposed to do. Like, this is what
Yeah.
good girls do. This is the end goal for any woman that is successful, is like, you start your family, you have your husband, you get the house, you know, you have four-wheelers and a pool,
Mm-hmm.
and that's it. And like, it's like, as long as she had that, then she was like a different kind of success in her mother's eyes. Like,
Yeah.
it's like the singing was one thing, but this is like your life and you need to do this. And yeah, I think she died like not thinking that she was ever a lesbian. I don't think she
Yeah.
ever. And the thing that's really shitty is like, it took her so long to leave Bobby.
Ugh.
It took so long. Like, she was so close to the end of her life by the time she finally fucking left that man.
Yeah, I don't know. It also makes you wonder too what she saw as a child in terms of like who else in her life maybe was in a similar situation of being like, I'm
Mm,
not gay. Like, look at my opposite sex partner,
right.
spouse. And it's like, oh, well, yeah, we all know Aunt whatever has her close friend, but she's married to a man.
Well,
That's just like a thing girls do.
I can't believe that you just casually brought that up, because what we have not talked about is, do you know what happened with her and Dionne Warwick's sister?
I don't think so. Tell me,
Whitney.
Daddy.
Whitney was molested by Dionne Warwick's sister.
I did not know this.
Yeah. And it really affected her. And
Oh my God. Wow. That
yeah.
colors in a lot.
How crazy that you just said that.
I can't believe I just said that.
Yeah. And you can look her up. I mean, she was like obviously not as successful as Dionne Warwick, but she was a singer, and Whitney talked about it. Like, she told some of her friends, she told Robin. People knew. Like, it wasn't like a secret. And Cissy knew, but it had like a major impact on her. And I do think that also played a big part in her like wanting to denounce that and just be like, that's not
Yeah.
me. You know, it just
Mm-hmm.
really fucked her up. But yeah, she was
How
in
old was
Newark.
she when that happened?
She was a teenager.
Okay.
Yeah, she was like a
Wow.
preteen.
Oh my God. Wow. I can't
Yeah.
believe I just like tossed that out there.
Yeah, I
Not
know. That
knowing.
was crazy. And I would have completely forgot to even bring that up. But that's a huge part of her. Oh God, just like so fucking
It's
sad.
all, God, it's like one thing on top of another, on top of
Seriously.
another. God, and you think of someone like that, like who's so famous, like how lucky that person is.
I
And
know.
then you peel it apart and you're like, this is maybe one of the least lucky people.
Because could you say that she cries in her lonely
Her
heart,
lonely heart.
thinking if there's nothing missing her life.
Life?
Yeah, I mean, it's true.
So this was a really hot article. And as you can imagine, the readers of Out magazine had something to say about it. And we just so happened to stumble upon the letters to the editor regarding this interview. So we're going to read a couple of them.
They are pretty intense. I'm going to start with this person from my hometown. This guy's from Akron. It's like me as a
Oh
teenager.
my God.
He said, straight away, please stop putting straight people on the cover of Out, a gay magazine. Whitney Houston, come on. How about Melissa Farrick or I don't know, any gay person? Jeez. It's like, well, if you read it, sir, it's about her being gay. This person, Abdul, said, I really appreciated that Whitney Houston story. Out of all the Whitney interviews I've ever read, and I've read many, no one has ever made me feel like I was right there with her. From the interruptions to the details of the sound of her voice, I give you many thanks for taking me along to the hotel to get to know her.
So a positive one there. Oh, this one. This is from Jody Downey in Long Beach, California. I have a great idea for Out. How about changing your name to Starfucker Magazine? It just seems so much more appropriate. Did Barry Walters not notice that Bobby Brown was making fun of him for being queer? Or that Whitney's being so adamant that she is not a lesbian is really insulting to those who are? I just don't get it. Barry threw softball questions to this prima donna bitch who has been no friend to the gay community, and you morons put her on the cover. If I want to read about screwed up straight people, I'll buy a straight magazine. And if you didn't get the message, she's straight. So why is she in your publication? I, for one, will sleep much better tonight knowing Whitney is definitely not queer. And it has concerned me for years now, and I'm just glad to have all the bullshit cleared up. Good thing she's not a lesbian. I don't want her on my team. Gay.
Like, you might be dealing with something beyond the Whitney Houston being a lesbian thing. Like, sir,
Yeah.
Jody, there's something going on there, mama.
It is an interesting point that Miss Jody brings up because it is such a relevant interview and everything. However, like, yeah, this is a person who everybody in the community feels like pretty confident is a gay person.
Right.
And she's like, nope. And to have it be in a gay magazine, it's annoying.
Yeah, it's annoying, and it's like, especially, it's very like, now you want to acknowledge us. Because you have your little remix album coming out, and now you need these people to go buy it, because when you were singing your Songbird shit, none of those white people that were clapping for you at the American Music Awards are going to go buy this disco remix of It's Not Right But It's Okay. So it is very like, it was a messy decision.
Yes, it was a very messy decision. And, you know, Jody did read it a little bit correctly. Like, it was a little bit, I mean, it could be read the most negative way as starfuckery. And then to get his side of it, where in his mind, it was protecting someone who was clearly not ready to do that.
Right.
Which you would say is, gay code of ethics.
Yeah, I think it would be different if it was like not out. Like if it was a magazine that just like, because it's an interview about queerness. So it's like, it fits the bill or whatever, but it's like, this is Out magazine. Like, yeah, like the irony that the whole interview was about her not being out, and like how she's like, I love you guys, but I'm not one of you. Like, And
also to be saying things like, I'm a mother, I'm a woman.
Yeah.
It's like, well, and I do think, yeah, Jody has a point. It is, and like you're saying, this is Out magazine. It's like, it's a little bit insulting to be insulted in your own home kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, you don't expect to, and then to read a man get gay bashed in front of him in the magazine, where this is essentially supposed to be a safe space for you.
Yeah. If it was just a random article in the magazine, it
Yeah.
would be different. But for it to be the cover story and for them to manipulate the audience and say like that Whitney's coming out in this issue is like crazy. Like that is nuts.
So Jody seems to have some anger issues and other things she's dealing with, but she does have some points.
Jody, if you're listening, tell us if you've worked through this.
We hope you have. I mean, she's a hop, skip, and a jump for me over in Long Beach. So maybe we can meet for a drink. See how
You
you're
can
doing.
Ayanla her.
Oh, perfect.
Dara will meet you in the bush. Well, this was so fun, and I'm so excited to do more gay shit and do more
We
more
love
out
gay shit.
magazine articles for sure.
Yeah, this was a gay treat. A great start to Pride Month. Happy Pride to you all.
Happy Pride. As Elizabeth Taylor and Pam Anderson, as Pam's shimmying her bosom above me, it's like, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
If you guys if you guys have queer issues or articles that are like really cool that maybe we don't know about, let us know ones that we should cover.
Yeah. And if you have any magazines at home that you'd like to send us, we have a P.O. box now, and so send us your trash, and to us it's a treasure.
Don't let your uncle throw away that box that's been collecting mold in the garage for 10 years. It's art.
So we'll put the address to that in this episode description. And it's also pinned to the top of our profile on Instagram. So yeah, you could send us magazines or just presents.
Yeah. Or as Whitney would say, anthrax. Well, we love you very, very much. Thank you so much for listening to our little show.
Yeah, we love you. See you next time.
Illy, love you like a sis.